Doolin Dowden, lay down your arms. Well, we've laid out all the magazines around Lyttelton today. We've put up lots of flyers in virtually all the windows. Now we're sitting here enjoying a nice, cool bevy. Actually, Castles Breweries, which Ian Castles was an interesting chap. He had Michael Swan work for him, who was the guy that ripped off the Dunedin hospital system for at least $20 million. My sources say that Michael Swan actually managed to pinch about $200 million, but because obviously it went for the banks, and it would have embarrassed the banks because they obviously knew that a lot of money was coming through, which didn't really make sense for a guy that was only on $75,000 a year. But they didn't say anything, so that kind of got brushed under the carpets. And then of course Scott Watson also worked for Castles, and then Castles of course turned up during the buying the land in Wellington off the iwi. So he bought, I think it was about, the figure's not correct, but the scale is, which he bought about $20 million land for $2 million, and then iwi people were actually bumping off Lower Hapu off the ownership. And then when a lot of those guys actually decided to go out to the mandate protests, and there was sort of a land connection, which to be honest goes above my head, but there was a land connection there, and they would go out and then give support to the mandate protesters. And they kind of got set up, because when they went back to their own protests, they were like, oh, you can't come in now because you've been contaminated by the protesters. So one of those sort of stories which is quite well known about in Wellington, but really never got a lot of national press. Thank you very much.